Hello, my name is Chelsea Chambers, and for my autobiography, I chose Maya Angelou. The reason why I chose her because she was very inspirational. She inspired many people through her work and her poems. And the thing I like most about her poems was her style of writing. But the thing that inspired me most about Maya Angelou was her rough beginnings. She had a rough childhood, a rough young adolescence, and also a rough young adulthood. But she was able to turn her life around and become a successful Black woman. Maya Angelou has several autobiographies. She has 7 books. The first one, autobiography, I Know Why a Caged Bird Sing, is the one I'm talking about today. It's about her life from the age of 3 to the age of 17. And to start it off, first she was abandoned by her parents at the age of 3. Her and her brother were sent off to Stamps, Arkansas to live with her grandmother and her uncle who was crippled. Now, during the time Maya was growing up, it was very rough for her being an African American and living in the South. Even though her grandmother was very successful, owning her own business, keeping her business going during the Depression, her and her family still experienced racial problems. The thing to know about Maya, she did not feel as worthy as many of her peers. She was bigger than most of her classmates, and she did not feel as pretty as most of them. But the biggest key event in the book was at the age of 8, she she finally met her mother. Her and her brother went to go live with her mother for several months, and during that time, she was sexually assaulted by her mother's boyfriend, and that led her being to a phase of pushing people away, moving against people. She was very silent, and she would not speak to her family nor friends. And her mother's side of the family could not handle it, so they sent her and her brother back to Arkansas. And once she got back, she was able to break through by reading and poems. And once she was able to break through her silence, a couple months later, that's when she met her first childhood friend. This was great for Maya because she lost her innocence through the sexual assault. So now her having a childhood friend is allowing her to feel like a young girl again. Now, Maya was able to finish up to the 8th grade, but her family encountered probably the worst experience they could have. Her brother was in an altercation with a mob of people, and this scared her grandmother. And her grandmother sent her and her brother to live with their mother again in California. Now, once they got to California, things started to look up for them. They started to excel in school. Maya was in a great art program, and she started feeling more worthy of herself. But during that time, her father did come back in the picture. He wanted Maya to live with him and his fiance during the summer, and she did so. And during that time, she and her father, his fiance, had a bad altercation. Maya ended up getting stabbed, but she was able to overcome it, and she moved back to California. Now, in California, she did finish school, but she did end up pregnant at the age of 17. I basically just summed up I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing. And the theorist I chose for this book was Karen Horney. I feel like her theory best describes Maya's childhood. Horney talked about basic hostility, and Maya had basic hostility towards her parents. Um, when she was living in Arkansas, her parents sent her and her brother presents, and when they seen that, they would destroy the presents that they sent because they did not understand why they would send them presents and then was able to abandon them. So they destroyed their parent presents. Now, Horner also talked about basic hostility will lead to basic anxiety. Now, Maya's basic anxiety was not feeling worthy of herself. She felt like when she was young, she felt like she was not worthy. She was not as good as most of her peers because she was bigger and she felt like she was uglier than her peers. Now, another example that I used in my paper was Karen Horney neurotic need for love. Since Maya did not get love from her parents, when she was living with her mother the first time and during her sexual experience with her mother's boyfriend, she did like it at first because she liked the one of feeling needed and loved because she never felt that before. And that's just an example I use in the thing in my paper. But I think Karen Horney's theory best explains Maya's childhood because Maya had many rough patches during her childhood. Being abandoned by her parents, she was very hostile. She did not have love, even though she did get love from her grandmother, but it was not the love that she could get from her parents. So she did not understand most of the things. And that's really it. Thank you.